It is Monday, June 29th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by T-Mobile. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. Hope you had a good, happy, healthy weekend. Are you okay? Are you jamming a pen in your ear?
Yeah, that one hurt. I was catching a lot of hair up there. I had a great weekend, Chris. Ended my youth baseball season. We got 6 weeks off, so now get a little bit extra time on my weekends, which is nice.
Good. Well, listen, usually Mondays are fun-filled, and we will certainly have that. They're energized because we have 3 days of baseball to talk about. A lot of stuff happening, but we would be remiss if we didn't start the show by telling everybody we're thinking about the people down in Venezuela. Obviously, that is a huge part of our baseball community, with more than 6% of major leaguers calling Venezuela their home. And we know what has transpired there with the tragic earthquakes, the loss of life, the people that are still missing. In fact, William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers, who had a huge home run against the Chicago Cubs on Friday night, sending well wishes on his chest protector of his catcher's gear. Here is Contreras with Trisha Whitaker after Friday's win.
You said this win is for Venezuela. What do you want to say to them back home right now?
Nada, que los amo, que me disculpen por no poder estar allá ayudándolos y que voy a seguir dando lo mejor de mí siempre.
That I love them and to forgive me for not being able to be there right now to help them, and that I'm always going to give the best version of myself for them.
We appreciate the time. Thank you.
For people that are audio only, Contreras had tears in his eyes as he was delivering his message. And all we can tell you is that every little bit that you can do to help financially will make a difference down there. That is a country that has been destroyed. It is the part of the fabric of where we are as a sport. I reached out to Miguel Rojas, who he's Miggy Rowe is part of our family at John Boy Media, and he is from Venezuela. His wife and 2 children were a couple blocks away from a building that was destroyed there, and I checked in with Miggy, and he said that he was working on getting them out and back to the States and everything. But just a terrible tragedy, and whatever we can do to help, we will.
Yeah, it's tough. You on your team, one of your favorite players is probably Venezuelan, and a lot of those guys, on the baseball side of things, with heavy hearts, came up big over the weekend. Eugenio Suarez, your guy Brian Rocchio had a nice play to end the game. Cater Montero and Emmanuel De Jesus shutting out the Astros. So, I don't know. Best wishes. I don't know what we can do, but.
Yeah, the Red Sox, if you want to try and find a link, like the Red Sox did a great fundraising weekend. I know Big Papi was up there spreading the word, and, it's never been easier to find and to donate. So whatever you can do to help, I know that we will be doing that as well. And so keeping our thoughts of all the good people that work in Major League Baseball that are from Venezuela in our thoughts. Absolutely. All right. Let's get to what else transpired around Major League Baseball. And we will start with the last game that was played over the weekend, Sunday Night Baseball between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And boy, the last 3 innings were absolutely incredible. There was great starting pitching performance by Sonny Gray. There was some head-scratching defensive efforts out there. But here's how it all ended.
1-1. Oh. Nobody home. The Red Sox somehow find a way against the Yankees.
They were fired up in there. I mean, you could feel it. We've had a good weekend, and even though we gave up the couple runs, the energy in the dugout coming in was like, let's go win the game, There's been times, here in the past couple months where that would have, crushed us, but it was not the case. They were fired up to try to get that done.
Holy smokes. I don't even know where we start. Maybe we start in the, Sonny Gray had a no-hitter going into the 8th inning, and then Ahmed Rosario broke it up with 1 out in the 8th. And then the Yankees tie it off of Chapman with one of the most bizarre throws I've seen in a while. Wilyer Abreu is such a good defender, and he had a couple of plays in the 9th and the 10th inning where you're like, oh, particularly the throw. What was he thinking here?
Part of me thinks that he was thinking of throwing to third, then wanted to choke it off and throw it to second, and then I think he saw that the guy wasn't tagging, so it was like a weird, in between, doesn't it seem like he was trying to pull down right there and just throw it to second base?
Yeah, it looked like he was in between thoughts.
And then all of a sudden he throws it just into no man's land. I was just talking to Jake about this. there wasn't any, like, usually someone's supposed to be there, but where he threw the ball, like, that literally is no man's land. There was
Right.
nobody there. No pitcher wasn't there. Catcher can't come off the plate. It was tough.
You could see how distraught he was too. Rafaela had to kind of put his arms around him. And we just started the show talking about Venezuela. Let's remember Wilyer Abreu hitting the huge home run to help them win the World Baseball Classic and how much it meant to him. I can only imagine kind of where his headspace was this weekend. Still, when you see that throw, you kind of go back and you're like, okay, because he's such a good defensive player. So he has not been the problem for this Boston Red Sox team. Let's talk real quickly about Sonny Gray, who last night joined the 2,000 strikeout and 2,000 innings pitched club. I think he's the first pitcher to ever do that in the same game. And, I mean, he was just incredible. Have we underappreciated his run at the big league level?
I don't think so. I think he gets a lot of love. I mean, I don't know. I always tend to do it because he's a guy that I faced and was a teammate of mine. He's just Sonny is a pitcher through and through. A guy that, obviously throws 6 different pitches and can mix and match velo and shapes to even make him seem like he's got 10 pitches. He's a guy that tunnels. Everything comes out of his hand the same, like mechanically. There's no like slowing down on off-speed pitches. The arm speed is there on every single one of them. And when he's locating, he becomes dominant, like we saw in this game.
He's had a remarkable career, and I think part of it, if he has been underappreciated, is that he has done his best work kind of in the middle of the country for the most part in anonymity. And then he's obviously started with Oakland, and Oakland's got its own viability issues in terms of a national scope, even though he pitched on some pretty good teams. But Cincinnati, Minnesota, then St. Louis when they were not at their best. The one time he had the spotlight shining on him was for the year plus that he was in New York, and he wasn't good. He just wasn't good. He didn't seem to enjoy it. That was not the Sonny Gray that everybody could have gone like, hey, even for a year in New York, he was great. That was kind of the low point of his career. He's had 2 top 5 Cy Young finishes. I think both were top 3, and they were almost a decade apart. So he has done it at a high level for a really long time. And I think we'll see him in Philadelphia in a week and a half.
And smart and a leader, and
really good ball player.
Sonny.
All right, so we're going to do something fun in this first segment. It's called How Big a Deal, and it's going to focus on a handful of series since there were some really interesting things that took place. For example, how big a deal was it that the Red Sox swept all 4 games against New York?
Coming off what looked like a season-ending loss to the Rockies, a series loss to the Rockies, and they lost those games in a really tough way, and they didn't get into Boston until early in the morning before that Thursday game. Could have been really bad for them if the Yankees came out and swept them or mopped them, if you will. Like the conversation is completely different now. Here they are sitting 4.5 games back of a wild card. We know they can pitch the ball, Chris. We know they can do that. Like, can they find the offense? Can something happen there offensively where they turn it around? Maybe. I mean, to me, this is a big deal because if it goes the other way, we're truly calling the season over. And now I don't know if you can, and I don't know how much they're going to sell. We talked about that with Craig Breslow, and I don't think he's in the position to sell unless he's mandated to. And if he's mandated to, that means he's out of there.
So yeah, I think it's a really big deal. Not just because it's the first time it happened since 2018, but gets them pointed back in the right direction. That series, the way it ended in Colorado, you were like, yuck. Like a walk-off triple by Jake McCarthy against Aroldis Chapman, and it's really? This is the way it's all.
Jarren Duran kicking the ball around. He ends up getting the knock here. Yeah.
Right. A day after not having a wonderful time with the fan base, or a fan in particular at Fenway Park, even though he diffused that situation in about 27 seconds. Real big deal. And you mentioned the starting pitching in particular, 11 consecutive quality starts. That's something this team hasn't seen since 1988. And they're counting on a lot of young guys behind Ranger Suarez and Sonny Gray. And they're counting on a lot of lefties as well.
Oh,
And one of them is not named Garrett Crochet. So I think that's all surprising. Look, we've talked about how abysmal the American League has been this year. 4.5 games out. Great. Sign me up if I'm a Red Sox fan with as miserable as the year has been. So I think it's a fairly big deal. Let us know what you're thinking there. Confidence level, how big a deal was the 4-game sweep, et cetera, et cetera. Let's move on to the middle of the country, the National League Central in particular, where the Cubs went into Milwaukee, and they hung on for dear life on Sunday.
2-2. Ground ball to third. Throw to second for one. Fogle in. Yes! Oh, my. Oh, baby!
I know there are those of you that are audio only, and you said, Rose, the game was in Milwaukee. Why is there so much cheering? Well, holy smokes, did the Cubs fans show up? I know that happens a lot. You know, we're talking about 90 miles in between the cities and a weekend series at that. If you want to go up there for a couple of games and have some fun, great atmosphere, seeing two good teams. How big a deal was it that the Cubs won 2 of 3?
I think they needed some of that, some momentum. Look, the Brewers have just kind of been on cruise control the entire year, and they've kind of like big brothered you a little bit, which is, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that, they've just
last couple of years.
Yes, I mean Craig Counsell has said as much.
Yeah, so like you get Jacob Mizorowski in the first game, okay, and then to come back and win the next 2 and really do it against the Brewers bullpen. Happ with some big games there, and then to hold off that Brewers charge in the 10th. You get up 4-1 in the 10th. You give a couple runs. Jordan Wicks, who just got called up that day, ends up getting a little pop up, and then Gary Sanchez with a double play to end it. That's a great series win. So I'll say. If you're a Brewers fan, all right, it's fine. But if you're a Cubs fan, I think it is a big deal. I'll put that almost on the same level as the Red Sox.
Yeah, I think that it was huge for the Cubs based on the 3 guys they went against, right? It was games started by Miz, Harrison, and Woodruff. And to win 2 out of those 3, that's pretty damn good, particularly with the way that your starting pitching has literally been falling apart. And they got really bad news about Ben Brown. We knew he was on the injured list, but this is a break in his neck that sounds like it's going to cost him much of the season. So the Cubs they're going to have to find more help. Now, the good news is David Peterson, once he got past the first pitch of his Chicago Cubs era, he was really solid. And we talked about the numbers that this infield defense behind him should help him kind of get back to center, if you will. Back to the guy that was an all-star, I believe, a year ago. So this was a good weekend for them. Counsell said we're going to just have to try and piece it together through the all-star break and kind of reevaluate where we are. If they don't make a huge pitching move, I would be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who they can count on within the organization. They've already said Justin Steele's not going to be a return as a starter this year. Nope. So you're going to get Jameson Taillon back soon, which will help.
But he hasn't pitched well.
I know. I'm just saying, you need bodies. David Peterson hadn't pitched well either.
True.
I don't know. It's they got to make a move. But I mean, there's a lot of teams that are saying that, Chris, and it takes 2 to tango.
So I'll set the number. These 2 teams play again in 7 of a 10-game stretch at the end of August, beginning of September. Okay. When they meet again, I'll set the over-under at 5 games. That will be the lead for the Milwaukee Brewers. Will you take the over, the under when they resume their season series?
Over. I think it's going to be difficult for the Cubs and their pitching to reel off wins and to keep up with the pace that Milwaukee is going to do. I mean, the Brewers are a very, very good baseball team that is healthy.
Yeah. I'll take the over.
Yeah, it's 5.5 right now. You think?
Yeah, the over under.
They're not going to. They're not. I do not have them gaining games on the Brewers over that span.
I'll see you at the end of August, and we can figure out whether we were right or wrong.
The Brewers, by the way, going into the break, Reds, who they've just crushed, they have pummeled 4 games against them. Then they play the D-backs, who are struggling. Then they play the Cardinals, who are struggling. And they play the Pirates. I like them to win all those series.
Okay. See where we go. We're going to go north of the border. That's where the Texas Rangers took care of business. Have we peeled Brandon Nimmo off of the turf out there yet? See the game-ending catch on Sunday in a one-run game?
Yeah.
Yeesh. Ouch. So as I mentioned, they won the entire series. How big a deal is a 4-game sweep by Texas?
Is he milking that a little bit?
Oh, don't you go there.
A little TV time?
Oh, come on now.
No, he's a strong guy. I'm just joking around. I would have done it. I would have milked it for sure.
So how big a deal is a 4-game sweep?
Look, in this AL West, it's huge for them. Gets them right back. They're on top of the AL West, aren't they? Yes, they are, by a half a game above the Seattle Mariners. That's a big deal for them. And this was a great series as far as their starting pitching goes, which should be their strong point. And at times hasn't been. You get past Eovaldi and DeGrom, and the younger guys have been up and down. But Kumar Rocker has a nice start here. The offense getting it going as well. Jock Peterson continues to hit. Foskey with a couple homers. I don't know. I think this right now in the AL, when you mop somebody and you win 4 games in a row, it's a massive deal. Like you jump into the upper echelon of the standings almost if you do it. So it's a big deal for the Rangers.
It's the way they did it. I think on Friday I talked about the Rangers, and really their biggest strength for the most part has been their bullpen all year. We thought it was going to be the starting pitching. It came out of the gate fast. Then it kind of hit the crapper a little bit. Both DeGrom and Eovaldi have not been as good recently as they were earlier in the year. Jack Leiter gets banged up. Well, first of all, the starting pitching was excellent in this series. It was Rocker, Eovaldi, Gore, and Cal Quantrill got the start for Jack Leiter as they're trying to fill that spot in the rotation because of an ankle injury. That combo, 3 runs in 24 innings. So that's a 1.13 ERA. Great job by them. And they were able to kind of dodge some bullets. There was a lot of late inning home runs hit by the Toronto Blue Jays against what has been a pretty dependable Rangers bullpen. So to have not one of them come back and bite you in the ass, pretty damn good. And for them to leapfrog a struggling Seattle team, which obviously listened to my pep talk, thank you very much, and continued their losing ways against my hometown Cleveland Guardians. So I appreciate that. I guess it is. I think we ask on Friday if it's going to be a 4-team race in that division? Isn't that what we did?
I think we did. I think we said yeah.
And so, yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Texas, you're one of the 4. We'll see if Chris Young elects to make any moves. Finally, a team we haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about. The Miami Marlins. Defensively, they look great out of the water and on dry land.
All right, boys, excellent job. First pitch swinging, Jimmy Crooks, diving stop, throw to first. Oh, they got him. What a play. The X-Man.
Attaway, X. So the Marlins take 2 of 3 in St. Louis. They lose on Sunday, but baseball's best record in the month of June belongs to the guys from the South Beach area. How big a deal is that?
It's a big deal. Probably not as big of a deal as the rest of the guys we just talked about because they've been winning, like he's mentioned. Best overall record in June. I think the Phillies are right behind them as well. But their starting pitching has been incredible. They're the lowest starting pitching ERA of any team this month. We talked about their offense, guys that can kind of get it up and down the lineup. Whether it's Jacob Marcy or Stowers, whatever it is. Tyler Phillips gave him a really nice start here in this series. Max Meyer continues to dominate. It's a big deal because they continue to play well, but I'll because they've just been doing it, I'll say less of a big deal, I guess.
So I think it's a big deal from the standpoint of after 84 games, they're 44-40, which I don't think I would have had them as, I certainly wouldn't have had them as the 3rd best team in the National League East at this point of the year. All that is great. Really, it's wonderful. They played exceptionally well at home where they're 11 games over 500. I look at the rest of the teams because I don't think they're going to catch the Braves nor the Phillies, whom we will talk about as far as a possible division leader very soon. They're not going to catch anybody in the National League East. The question is, can they be better than the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Nationals, the Pirates, teams that are going to be fighting it out for those wild card spots? I think they can be. The problem is going to be, will they add anybody if they feel like they need to? Or they say, hey, we're going to give it a shot with this roster, and we're going to hang on to Sandy, and we're going to hang on to Yuri Perez, and we're going to give it a shot with what we've got instead of be sellers like we normally are, but we won't be buyers. And is that good enough? I don't know.
You know what? I do think that they end up standing pat, and I want to see these guys compete throughout the.
Yeah, they should have a chance.
Yeah.
Like the team, when Peter Bendix put this team together, he probably said, okay, show me that you're worth not pulling apart and not deconstructing the roster. Well, they've done that through the first half plus of the season. That's all you can ask. So they've done the job, and we'll see if he allows them to continue to do that. I think he will. I think. All right, so a lot of big deal answers to get to in the comments section. All right, please leave it. And while you're there, leave us a thumbs up, too, that you like us. Plouffe really digs that. Well, today's episode, it is sponsored by Amazon. Back to school season. It's not that far away. We want you to spend less on your kids, courtesy of Amazon. Look, you want to give your kids a great start to the school year, but back to school has a way of absolutely destroying your budget. It's been a while since I've had to do this shopping list, but I remember it well. It's shopping PTSD because the list kept growing and growing. The clothes, they stop fitting. Your kids get bigger. Who knew? Somehow, there's always one more thing. Plouffe is smack dab in the middle of this. He can tell you about it. Amazon, though, helps you handle all of it without losing your mind or your wallet. Like when you get that list, it's a couple weeks out from school, and you want to get, you want to beat everybody to the punch because you have to roll through from store to store to store. That doesn't happen now, right? You just get on your computer, you get on your phone. Amazon is one-stop shopping for back to school. Backpacks, lunchboxes, notebooks, headphones, clothes, whatever you need, including from that one teacher who has just a specific list. Well, guess what? Amazon's got it. Plus, they got great prices and huge selection, and it shows up at your door before you know it. So remember, with Amazon's low back-to-school prices, just spend less on your kids because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. That's the biggest deal around. Yeah. Phillies. They won a series at Citi Field. We'll talk about Kyle Schwarber's 30th home run in his late-game heroics first. But maybe, just maybe, we had the defensive play of the year thanks to Derek Hill.
Fly ball, right center field. On the run is Hill. Out toward the wall. He jumps and he made the catch. Oh, what a play. He pulled it right back as it was going over the wall.
It might have been the best play I've ever seen, and I don't think slow motion does it justice because he was on a dead sprint and timed it up so perfectly. And, I mean, any second earlier, a second later, I don't think he gets it. So I think that might be the catch of the year, and I think it's one of the best plays I've ever seen.
I ain't got much on that one. I just kind of blacked out on it, just kind of pure instinct and whatnot. But I knew I had a chance because the wind was kind of knocking things down a little bit today.
I don't think I've ever heard a defensive player say that he blacked out on a play. Have you?
No, I haven't either. Like him and Dane Myers probably have done it together. This, to me, Trey Turner said it the best. There was like no feel of the wall, no like, hey, I got to get there, get my bearings, and then jump. This was a full sprint direct, and the timing of the leap was perfect. And look, this is like, I don't know how many games he's played at Citi Field, probably not a ton. All ballparks are different. That fence is angled a certain way. Like he went up, and that's 100% route efficiency right there to go up and get that fully extended. And why do I feel like Juan Soto has like a ton of home runs robbed against him? Don't you? Because
James Wood got him this year too.
I feel like I'm always looking at Juan Soto being disappointed and being like, oh man, I almost got one.
Well, if you listen to Eric Chavez's podcast,
whoa,
you can go back and sit next to the assistant GM in the batting cage and get consoled.
Eric Chavez letting the freaking nothing left in the chamber there.
Wow.
Going after Stearns, huh?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's better than Joe Adell because Joe Adell, you have to kind of wrap the 3 home run robbery night and the picture of the year adds to Joe Adell's, but this is pretty damn special. It was remarkable. And I guarantee you, Jalen Hurts was like, I might need a new deep target.
No idea where you're going with that.
Well, I mean, but that was very wide receiver-ish. Like Go up, one hand, perfect timing.
I think not to take anything away from Joe Adell. Technically, like just a baseball play, this was a much more difficult play.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
Joe
think
Adell, great, awesome, love it. But the way that he had to just dead sprint, perfect time jump, fully extended. I don't know if it gets better than this.
Well, also you have very few times with the trajectory of a baseball that you could catch it like that. I mean, there aren't a lot of balls hit at that angle where you're running at full speed. Usually they tell you get back toward the wall, right? Isn't that what they tell you on?
If you have time, you get back there, you feel the wall out, and then you time your jump. He didn't have time for that.
Here's our Joe Adell play.
Oh, that was really good too. Sheesh. Maybe I was a victim of the moment right there.
Well, look, one wall is 9 feet high and one wall is 3. So that lends to some of it.
Man, he went up and got it. How about we just say both incredible catches?
Right.
Where's Denzel Clark been?
He's hurt.
I know. We last year we had a freaking home run robbery every series.
You're right. Every week. You could, if you want to throw, I always like it when people do this. They throw links of their favorite catches, outfield catches ever, because I'll click and I'll watch them all day. I'll go down that rabbit hole. If you want to throw those in comments. Kenny Lofton off of BJ Surhoff in Cleveland.
Did you see Kenny Lofton's Instagram this weekend?
No.
I think it was like just yesterday. He's at a club. Warren G was there. Like Kenny Lofton's hilarious.
He's great. He's great. Well, he did the one where he had his back literally to home plate, climbed up on the fence at Jacobs Field with his back to it, and he's a lefty, so he's catching like this.
Yeah.
And over his head. They made a bobblehead, and I had one somewhere. I don't know where it is now. It's a great one.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Somebody throw it in the comments section for me just so I can have easy access when I need it later today. All right. So that's all sorts of good stuff we got. But Kyle Schwarber, look, the Phillies coughed up the lead, and they were in danger of losing the series in New York. And nobody's catching that. Not with a baseball mitt, unless you're sitting in right center field, and then maybe you've got a shot at it if you're a fan.
30 is crazy. 30 home runs before the end of June is just nuts.
Okay, so you couple that with the Giants series win over the Braves, and now the deficit for Philadelphia is just 3 games in the National League East. Is Philly the best team in that division?
I don't think so. I think the Braves still have an overall better roster. I think the bullpen is better for the Braves. I think the offense up and down is better. I know the Braves have gotten cold over the last 2 weeks or whatever it is. They haven't really been scoring runs. But I think overall, top to bottom, lengthwise, they have a better lineup, better bullpen. And I think you give the edge to the Phillies starting pitching. But even that is probably closer than we want to believe. I think the Braves are still the better team. You?
I had a hard time with this one. Really hard time. I know that the Braves are just in a bad rut. I think they've dropped 16 of 20, and they're still a really good team. I think I like Philly's team better. First of all, the top of their rotation is awesome.
Like the top of the rotation better than I like the top of the Braves rotation, yes. But
a lot better.
Not a lot of depth. Less depth.
Right. Yes. I mean, Dombrowski's going to be looking for an arm to help them out in the second half. I really believe that.
And the Braves are probably going to go after starting pitching as well.
Well, but they feel like they've got young guys who are coming back from injury.
Yeah.
The question is, is that your Alex Anthopoulos trade special? Those 3 guys that are all either on rehab assignments or will be there shortly. This is a tough one. I had a really hard time with this. And I think I'm somewhat jaded by the fact that Atlanta has hit its swoon over the last 3+ weeks, and that Philadelphia just hasn't stopped winning since Don Mattingly took over at the end of April. But that's not like a hot streak. That might be who they are. And this is they've been. I mean,
yes, against each other this year.
Well, let's remember, Topper got fired at the conclusion of them losing to the Braves series. So
yeah, Braves are 5-1.
Yeah. Did all those games come before Mattingly took over?
Let's see. At Philly, they swept them April 17th through the 19th, and then yeah.
They haven't played.
Yeah.
They haven't played since Donnie Baseball installed his new high-tech offense.
And they won't play again until September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Good.
And
Let's have the games really count.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got a bunch of games in September.
Yeah. And listen, if you're a Braves fan, you say, Rose, what are you doing? Like, we're going to be just fine. We're getting bodies back. I understand all of that. I really do. Get it. And Acuna's not back right now. Philadelphia, for the most part, is feeling good and healthy. So we'll see. Let us know. Comments. Who do you dig more second half of the year? We didn't think this was possible.
I didn't. No.
But here we are. And so we have the question to ask. And it's fun. I like it. I also like this. Today's episode of Baseball Today is sponsored by Shady Rays. Shady Rays, built for real sports fans. There's no more squinting through the sun to track a fly ball when you already have sunglasses on. Shady Rays polarized lenses let you track a fly ball, lets you read the scoreboard, and lets you see clearly that the ump blew the call in the ninth inning. Jeez. Their lightweight frames won't slip, whether you're at the ballpark or whether you're on the golf course or whether you're watching the game outside on the patio. And here's the very best part of the deal. With Shady Rays Lost and Broken Protection, if you lose or you break them, even right after you get them, Shady Rays replaces them. There's no drama. It's stress-free. There's no replacement guilt as well, just a new pair headed your way. From the first pitch to the final out, do not let the sun mess with your game. In fact, we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head on over to shadyrays.com. Use the code BASEBALL50. You're going to get 50% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. That's 2 or more, half off. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by more than 300,000 satisfied customers out there. All right. We're in a Tampa Bay Rays hat today. They have the best record in the American League. They do. They have the lead in the American League East. And they have the most hottest hitter in the entire game.
Right? Holmes with a hard hit. Yeah. High shot, deep into left center. Way back it goes, and that baby is gone. Home run, Junior Caminero.
463 feet off of Merrill Kelly. Just take your sweet old time. Why not? He's been getting his steps in, 7 homers in the last 6 games. Dare I say that we are looking at the first half MVP for the American League?
That's a lot to put on him. He's been fantastic. I'm trying to think who else would be there.
Right. The obvious answer is no, because he's a horrible defender.
Yeah, defensively no good.
And he doesn't do anything on the bases. So
he also, so then you couple that with Yordan Alvarez is leading the league in everything offensively. So he's probably, he's behind Yordan.
That's who I have him behind. Now, can I ask you this? He's significantly behind Bobby Witt in terms of WAR, right? Bobby is a fantastic defender. He's got almost 30 steals. He's on pace for a 2050 season, I believe. But Kansas City's got the worst record in the American League. Could you in good conscience vote him as the best player in the American League the first half?
Yeah, because it's an individual award. So I get it. I mean, look, they're not like winning baseball. They don't have the best record in baseball because Junior Caminero is going off offensively. They're winning it because their starting pitching has been incredible. Like, obviously he helps. He helps
Significantly.
Yeah, he helps. Okay, put Bobby Witt Jr. on this team. Do you think he's going to help or not help?
Okay.
That's how you have to think about it. It's not Bobby's fault.
So guess what? I could put Junior Caminero on the Royals.
And do you think he's making it better than Bobby Witt? He's not.
He's definitely not.
He's not. So that I don't know. I'm not going to give him my MVP award. He's been great. I mean, already 49 runs driven in, and we're not even at the halfway. Or I guess we are at the halfway point of the season, huh?
Yeah, he's on pace for a 6 WAR season for a guy who stinks defensively. That's pretty impressive, actually. I almost want to tip my cap to him.
We're exactly at the halfway point right now. 48-33 for them. That's 81 games.
Mm-hmm. So how would you vote? I mean, I'm kind of kicking myself for even asking these questions because I hate we have to do it during the NFL season. Like, who's the NFL MVP at this point? But we are directly at the midway point. So who is the first half MVP in the American? Is it just Jordan? Because the league has been terrible. Judge has been out. Nobody on Cleveland or the White Sox, I think, justifies it. Nobody on Texas or Seattle.
And Ben Rice he's been struggling as of late.
Right.
I would say you might add him into the mix just because of what he's meant to the Yankees. But if you're talking about statistics and just hitters, which we are kind of right now with Jordan and Caminero, like it's Jordan, I think.
I think Jordan is the easy choice because they're very much in this, whether it's because of their doing or the rest of the league. I'll take the latter on that. But yeah,
Is there a pitcher we're not thinking about?
No.
Dylan Dingler?
Dylan Dingler's been great for a fourth place team.
I toggled down Fangraphs and I just went American League. Here's your Fangraphs leaders in WAR. It's Bobby Witt 4-3. Then it's Dingler.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Jordan, Kevin McGonigal.
Mm-hmm. Great year. Amazing year.
Nick Kurtz.
Okay, Nick Kurtz is another one. Now, that one I'll listen to.
But
I think
Jordan's just been better than – you're talking about all these guys that are just hitters, and Jordan's just been better than everybody. So it's either him or Bobby Witt. That's the answer.
So if you had to turn in your top three today for the first half MVP, who is it? I'll go Jordan.
Jordan, Bobby Witt. Gosh.
I'm going
probably Kurtz. He's got 64 runs driven in already.
And I think he still leads the league in walks. That's a huge deal.
Almost a 20% walk percentage. Yeah, I think that's who I would go. I'd go Bobby Witt, Jordan, Kurtz.
I would go Jordan, Nick Kurtz, Bobby Witt. Sorry, Bobby. Your team stinks. You're a great ball player. But even he has not.
He's got 28 swipes already.
Stop
it, dude.
What's his OPS? It's a little bit over 800, right?
It is a 820, 819.
Okay. Low eights. Which is, look, sign me up. I would love to have Bobby Witt on my team. You kidding me? The Guardians could make the World Series if Bobby Witt was on their team.
Yeah. You got a bunch of young toys. Who are the guys you got? Khalil Watson? Who's the other guy that just came up?
Stop it. Cooper Ingle. Khalil Watson's been ridiculous. Good for him, man. All right. Well, that was fun. Everybody has to give us your top three for the AL MVP voting at this point. We're not even going to do the National League voting because we know who's going to walk away with that one. That's an easy one. Don't you think? I do. Time to focus right now on the Mets and the Angels. And a pair of teams that made non-player moves. Now, obviously, on Friday's show, our lead story was Carlos Mendoza getting fired. Well, President of Baseball Ops, David Stearns, was pressed about his future role with the organization.
David, you said you consider it a partnership with Mendy. That said, have you considered stepping aside? Is that something you've thought about?
I have not.
Why not?
I believe that we are building the foundation of an organization that can deliver what we all want. I don't believe that our record on the field this year is indicative of some of the advancements that we've made in an organization, but clearly our record is nowhere good enough.
What are you smirking about?
That's a great question. I'm sorry. Like I'm glad someone asked it. That's a great question. That's something. I mean,
Didn't
I feel
we
like
discuss that on Friday. I said, isn't somebody ask him that?
You did. And how quickly he said, I do not. I'm not. Obviously, he's not going to say, yeah, I should be out of here too. I kind of stunk this offseason up, didn't I?
Well, what he should have said is, hey, motherfucker, do you think I'm going to give up $25 million? They're going to have to fire my ass. I'm not walking out because Mendy and I are joined at the hip.
Well, you don't say stuff like that.
But you should. Then, if that's the honest answer, wouldn't you give David Stearns some points for, bro, I'm not walking away from $25 million. Would you?
That's one way to get fired. Then you just ride off into the sunset with your money.
Right.
Oh man, maybe you should have said that.
Oh, definitely should have.
A lot of stress. You'd avoid a lot of stress just by saying those words.
Yeah, because I do honestly believe he feels that way, that I guarantee you, when the door is shut in his office and he's talking with one of his lieutenants, he's going, how the hell is this team this bad? These players are not this bad. And somebody got on me for the clip that we put out last week and saying, what are you doing, Rose? Because I was yelling at David Stearns and how he screwed this whole thing up. What I should have said upon retrospect is that he made moves where we all went, that's interesting. Now, some of it's risky because you got a lot of guys that are playing out of position at the major league level, and that could be risky. And the other part that's risky that I didn't say, and I should have, is that it takes a special kind of athlete to play in New York. And Pete Alonso, for years, I always said, had mastered that. He had figured out how to be extremely successful dealing with the rigors of media, fan base, high expectations, being little brother to the Yankees. Not everybody can handle that. Bo Bichette looks miserable. And obviously a lot of that has to deal with the fact that I don't even think his OPS is 700. So, but he looks like a guy who played his entire career in one city, off the beaten path, and now he's thrust into the middle of this, and people are like, why do you suck?
Yeah, I mean, really nothing's worked out or for any of those. God. This is a hilarious video.
We're showing the Steve Gelbs with Mr. Met.
Just not understanding what he's talking about at all.
Time and place?
Gosh.
Well, in fairness, I guarantee Mr. Met has no ears, right? He's just a ball. He's got no ears.
Okay. So
how's he supposed to know what Steve's talking about?
That's just like that video right there sums up a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think, man. I guess
the answer though, he doesn't have any ears thing.
He might have ears that it may not be protruding, Chris.
Man, roll that back.
They might not be protruding.
Where are Mr. Met's ears?
I'm not saying he has ears like us. I'm saying maybe he just got, we don't know.
Have you ever put on a mascot head?
Are you being like actual seriously about not having ears, or I'm just joking around here, Chris? That guy can't hear. He would not have been dancing if he knew they were talking about firing Carlos Mendoza, dude. Oh my gosh!
Did you see the meme?
I hate mascots anyway, so that's just
a
joke.
Fun. Did you see the meme where they put the dancing Mr. Met like behind Walter Cronkite when he was announcing the death of President Kennedy in 1963? They edited him in the video. Like, it's
a lot of good memes coming out. Sophie Cunningham with a point meme is so
God.
Good. What a great meme that is.
She broke it down actually on her very, very smartly.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mets. I don't know what to say about the Mets, man. I do not know what to say. Looking back on the offseason, look, we thought they needed a change, and they changed a lot. That roster turnover was a lot. And basically none of the guys that you've brought in have done what you needed them to do. You're right about Bo Bichette, 687 OPS. Marcus Semien, 613. He's on the IL. You went from having Pete Alonso at first base to Mark Vientos, who's been worth negative 1.1 BWAR to date. Some of the young guys have been fun. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Benj and Ewing, great.
Awesome.
But the young pitching has not been what we thought it would be. The pitching staff in general. Bring over Peralta. He has not been what you thought he would be. It's a disaster. It's a disaster.
It's a disaster. And we both think that Stearns is going to be okay through this, right?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Maybe not.
I think he gets one more year to right this wrong. And that
what do they do in the offseason? Do you think Uncle Steve is going to be like, yeah, here, go do your signings again. It worked out for us this year. No, I don't know if that's going to be the case. In a season that's probably going to be off season is going to be shortened because of the eventual lockout we're going to have.
You finally said it.
No, I've said there's going to be a lockout. I don't think we're going to miss games.
Okay. I'm still stuck on the whole Mr. Met ears thing. I have worn I did a piece when I lived in Reno, Nevada, my first on-air TV job. And I was a Reno Renegade. They were a independent hockey league team, or they were in some league. And so I did a story where I walked around first of all, if you ever put a mascot uniform on, make sure they dry clean that shit before
disgusting. I did the sausage race in Milwaukee.
That's gross.
I was
Which
chorizo.
one were you? Were you the chorizo?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
I
kind of look like chorizo.
That's the one where Jimmy blew out.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, he blew out.
Who won that?
It just depends. Jake, technically, but there was a little bit of out of his lane situation going on. I tried to help Jimmy a little bit.
So you did not win. Are you having a hard time admitting that you didn't?
I'd have to see the video again and where exactly the race ends.
This is interesting.
No, they also stepped on my shoe, which is another disqualification. I got, what do they call that when your heel comes out?
Flat tire.
Yeah, they flat tired me.
Sounds like a lot of excuses. Plouffe.
Well, you can't get flat tired and running one of those things.
Sounds like a lot of excuses.
Okay.
Oh, you are not happy right now. I took you back to a bad time.
Well, it's tough when you don't get, when you think you have something and then someone cheats to take it away from you.
This is not the gold medal in 1988. For God's sakes, it's a sausage race. Smile, laugh a little bit.
Hey, you know what signing has worked out for the Mets? Juan Soto.
Yes, exceptional. So if any other team has $800 million to spend, go find a guy like that.
Gosh,
okay.
Team.
All right. Meanwhile, the Angels, they kept their manager. They got rid of GM Perry Manassian. He was let go over the weekend, replaced in the interim by consultant and former Cardinals architect John Mozeliak.
Obviously, winning still matters. We still care about that, and that's going to be something that we'll never lose focus of. But when you think about this, there's a short view and a long view. And our short view is going to be coming through the draft, addressing the trading deadline, finding a new general manager. And then ultimately, hopefully we lead to that foundation and structure that provides perpetual winning.
Usually I think it's cheesy when a guy gets hired by a team and matches his tie to the team colors, but that tie was awesome.
Oh, you like that tie?
I thought it worked perfectly with the background. No?
Show it again, Dan. Show it again.
Scrub forward. Let's go. There it is. You didn't like that with the background?
No.
Okay. All right. I liked it. I thought it was fine with the background. That's not what we're here to discuss. I'm not exactly a fashionista today. I wear the same 3 T-shirts on this show. There are a lot of people saying, including our buddy Swill, who says, hey, great, bring in Mo. He's a veteran, all that. None of it matters until Artie sells the team. We will never win a damn thing until the owner decides to get out. Is that accurate?
Or changes his ways, right? If you're Manassian and your biggest free agent signing was Yusei Kikuchi, it's tough to do it. Okay, did you miss on some draft picks?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have. There's no doubt about it. I'm on his side about not trading Shohei Ohtani. I was at the time. I thought Angels fans deserved it. One last hurrah with your guy. Then there's the rumors out that they could have had Junior Caminero and Carson Williams from the Rays for Ohtani. That's hindsight stuff. At the time, and I still believe that was the right move for the Angels organization at that moment. Again,
so you're backing ownership in that case, because it sounded like Artie is the one who nixed those.
I thought that was the right
not me
thing for the organization. No, we differed there. And then you ended up being right because they fell out of contention very quickly. But yeah, look, if you're not, I think Artie needs to change his ways or go. And then I think, you have to, if you're the Angels, like you have to hit on your draft picks. You have to make the right trades. You have to do all these things that other winning franchises do. So I'd say it's partly Manassian's fault because you are the guy that's making the call on draft picks. You are the guy that, for the most part, that's trading and deciding the packages there. But I do think if you're hamstrung in free agency like he was, it also makes it very difficult.
So when I talk to, first of all, it does stink when you feel like you have no faith in your ownership. You know, that's a hard thing because all people can do is chant sell the team, and it's never going to happen anyway. So that's tough. But to say that it will never happen under Artie is downright false because there was a team all that long ago that was fan base chanting, sell the team, underperforming, missing out on free agents, didn't happen. You know who that owner is? James Dolan of the New York Knicks, who was just moving down the Canyon of Heroes, celebrating a Knicks championship. Now, he did change his way. He did. He hired Lon Rosen and said, go. So the number one thing is Artie's got to find the right person in charge. And he hasn't. So, yes. I mean, by the way, James Dolan tried. He brought in Phil Jackson. We didn't think that was ever going to work, but he tried something. He tried with all these different people. None of it worked over time. Some of the biggest names in the history of the sport. So it's up to Artie to go find that one person who can do this, sprinkle a little magic dust, and get the Angels back because you have the longest playoff drought working right now in the show. It's been forever since you won a freaking playoff game, and you've wasted Mike Trout's career. So it can happen. Probably not, but it can. We still have a little more show to go. Leave in your comments whether or not you think that stuff is going to happen. Plus, with the Mets, what are your thoughts? What are your updates? We'll get to a little bit more. But first, a word from my buddy.
This episode is brought to you by Fanatics Markets, where fans trade on sports. It's simple. You just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then, buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. Buy as many as you want, sell if the price moves in your favor, or you let them settle when the event ends. And Fanatics Markets just got even more rewarding with Fan Cash. Now you can earn up to 10% Fan Cash on your trades, win or lose. Use it across the Fanatics ecosystem for things like trade credit, authentic apparel, collectibles, tickets, and more. Fan Cash is Fanatics' currency of sport, connecting trading, merchandise, collectibles, and experiences all in one place. Trade, earn Fan Cash, and unlock more with Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry risks of total loss and changing prices, not good for all investors. Now available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC. DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA.
Trevor, thank you. A few important things before we get out of here. None more important than what the White Sox and Royals did this weekend together as they lined up on their base paths to welcome 4-year-old Melanie Marquez to the field. And we send our good thoughts to Melanie, who unfortunately is battling brain cancer. She went up and down that line, slapped fives with all of the players, shown around there by the White Sox mascot. You don't need to have children to have this tug at your emotional heartstrings, Plouffe.
No, I'm going to start crying, man. I can't.
Look at Salvi, by the way, getting down on a knee so that she can see him eye level. That away, dude. Great job by the organization. Great job by the Royals to be out there. And we send our best, kiddo.
Yeah.
Keep smiling. Keep fighting. I told you a little bit earlier about the hottest hitter in the American League, Junior Caminero. What about the hottest hitter in the National League? He resides with the Rockies.
Oh, this ball splattered to left. You can't keep a good man down. If that ball had an ego, it was crushed.
Was that our guy Spilly with that line?
Why you got to bring this up? Twins won the series?
Yeah, he won the series because he homered, I think, 4 times in 5 at bats.
He did. Yes, he did.
Okay, is he the most underappreciated? Where's he rank on the most underappreciated list in baseball?
Oh gosh, yeah, pretty underappreciated because of where he plays. And we always talk. I always at least say a good hitting catcher is a cheat code, and he's one of the better hitting catchers in all the league. Unfortunately, I think we're at a time right now where I feel like we have some bangers at the catcher position. So maybe that's why he gets overlooked a little bit. I think most of it comes from playing in Colorado. But yeah, he's been one of the better ones for the better part of 2 years now. So I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan since the beginning with Hunter Goodman. And every once in a while, a Rockies player will come up and have like initial success. Like, oh, okay, this guy looks like he's legit. And they kind of fade away. For the most part, they have. And Hunter Goodman has not. Yeah,
he's underappreciated. There's no question. But, he can smack the ball. And people say, well, he's a Coors Field baby. He's not. He's got 18 of his 25 homers on the road this year. Yeah. His OPS is almost 350 points higher on the road. Yes. And for people that are like, well, I got to get my hands on him, Yankees fans. Oh, we got to trade for him. Our production behind the plate's been – guy's got like 4 more years of control. Good luck. That's not happening. He's not a great defensive catcher. The metrics don't love him. His on-base percentage for his career is sub 300. So he can rake. It's just other parts of his game I think still need a little seasoning. But he's a good player. Good player. Told you earlier about the Cubs series win up in Milwaukee. They did it without one of their left-handed relievers, Holby Milner, who is not available because of this.
He woke up in the middle of the night and had major stomach pain. He Ubered himself to the emergency room and then had surgery.
Yeah, an appendectomy. Would you have Ubered yourself?
I think at a certain point, you're like, how can I get relief the quickest? And it's just like, let me just get to the hospital. Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't you have called somebody? I would have been like, my mommy.
Usually I give crap to pitchers. That's pretty ballsy. Pretty badass.
Wouldn't you have called the trainer?
He probably did. No one answered. It was the middle of the night.
Didn't answer. The trainers are on 24/7 on the road
man.
trip.
Sometimes you don't get a hold of somebody.
Hey, Holby. That's pretty impressive. That was good. Yeah. Well, finally, speaking of pain, how about what happened to Nick Lofton of the Royals?
And Montgomery puts down a perfect bunt. Lynch fields, throws to third, and he drills Lofton, who is now down.
Okay.
Pitchers, man.
Yeah, Lynch was what? 15 feet from him?
Yeah, like have some feel. You weren't going to get the out. He's like mad about it. There's no way you're going to get the out here. And then just lets it eat from 15 feet away.
Okay, we're convinced that Lofton was not wearing a cup, right?
I don't think he was, but even if you have a cup on and the ball hits you that square at that pace from that far away, it's going to hurt. Oh, gosh. And how do you, if you didn't have a cup on, you got to wear a cup.
There was just so much wrong with every part of that play from the Royals standpoint.
They have great cups now, Chris, where like the part that goes against your thighs is like gel. So that kind of like bends. So it's not like so hard against your thighs. Like there's a lot of great innovation there. You can put it in your sliders or you can actually wear the jock strap. I was a jock strap guy. Yeah. I love the cup, dude. Like, give me a cup.
Are you still wearing one?
No, I would though. I would. Makes you feel secure in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still remember when David Price wore one on the mound. Do you remember when he took a liner in Tampa Bay and the ball ricocheted in the air?
I wore a cup on the mound. I felt like my uniform wasn't complete unless I had a cup on.
Well, in high school, they make you wear them.
I don't know. They don't come check you.
I mean,
what do you think? The guy comes up and just grabs you and no cup.
Now we got issues if we're doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Lot to get to. Boy, this was a fun-filled weekend.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back at it again on Tuesday, and we cannot wait. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented and cup-wearing Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.